Tax debate. We do have the House Majority Leader with us now, Cantor. Leader Cantor, thank you very much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Good to be with you.
I'd like to figure out, and from us sitting up here in New York, it's sometimes tough minute to minute, exactly what's going on. Give us the update. Is the payroll tax cut, is the extension going to pass? Gun to your head to the question right now.
Well, we're here right now in town wanting to get this done for the American people. And the only difference that is left is whether that extension should be a year or not. And that's our position, and that's the President's position. That is the Senate Democrats' position, that they want to see tax relief for working people for a year.
Right.
So if that's the case, why isn't the President up here on Capitol Hill when he's only a mile away joining us and trying to resolve things? Why is Reid not appointing his members to come join us at a conference to resolve it? This is easy. It can be done, really.
Yeah,
and so it just makes no sense. It defies reason as to why we're not trying to finish the work for the people, give working people some certainty, so we're not at this again in 60 days, wasting taxpayer time and money when there are other issues at stake.
What if it's not a year, though? Let me ask you about that, because then you allow yourself, as Republicans, to be painted in the way that Speaker Pelosi's spokesperson painted you today, as the House Republicans have voted to raise taxes on the middle class. Or even as some fellow Republicans, like Senator McCain, said to CNN yesterday that this is harming the Republican Party. You allow that political argument to be made, don't you, if you don't vote for it?
I just think that's pure politics. I mean, the reality here is people understand that the Republican Party stands for limited government, lower taxes. We believe hardworking people should keep more of their own money. And that's always been our position. And so when you look at the facts of this, what we're saying is it makes no sense to say all we can do is 60 days. How do people live and budget if you're trying to ask them to go incrementally on a month-to-month basis, not knowing what their tax liability is going to be?
But if that's your only choice, how will you vote?
All we're saying is, let's do the right thing. We've got time. It's not our only choice. I mean, that's what I'm telling you. We've got plenty of time here. It's the only choice if Reid decides that he's not going to pick the bill up in the Senate, because the fact is, the ball's in the Senate's court. Reid's got to act. If he doesn't act, taxes will go up. And that's what we did yesterday, is we went back to the House, voted against the Senate position, and said, here, Senate, fix it. Let's do a year. And we can do this. We really can.
I know you say the ball's in his court, but it was funny to see what Senator Reid had to say just a few minutes ago when he put out something that said he's urging Speaker Boehner to bring back the House to approve the Senate's bill. So he's trying to throw that ball back at you guys.
The Senate bill is back with the Senate. I mean, again, I think Reid knows that it is upon him now to act, because we have put the bill back into the body of the Senate. And again, we're here in town. That's the bottom line. We are here willing to work. You know, if Reid thinks it's more important for his members to go on vacation, then he'll have to answer the people. And what I think also is, we're within a mile of the White House here. Why is the President here in town and not here talking to us to resolve these differences? Because the differences are not great.
Let me ask you two more questions, Leader Cantor. And again, we appreciate your time today. The first one is on economics. We're talking on the Business Network all the time. And what if they don't pass this? Does it affect the economy? We had some economists on this week that said that the first quarter GDP of the U.S. would take a hit, maybe 1% or about that, a little less, a little more. Do you agree that this would be a problem economically for this country if at the end of the day you don't pass an extension?
Well, look at what we're talking about here. All the Senate says is 60 days worth of extension. You're not resolving anything economically by 60 days or not. What we're saying is we need a year.
Right.
And those economists who believe that this is essential to economic growth should be here saying do the year extension. And really, that's what everybody here is saying. And that's why the American people, I think, are frustrated. They're wondering, why is Washington saying they're for one thing, but yet producing another? It doesn't make any sense.
And the second question is about that frustration that you bring up. The so-called dysfunction in Washington is how everybody seems to phrase it. And then just a little while ago, we had this exchange on the House floor between Steny Hoyer and from Congressman Fitzpatrick, who happened to be presiding in the Speaker's chair. We played it earlier, but just quickly in case people missed it, here it is again.
The House stands adjourned until 10 a.m. on Friday,
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, would like to ask for unanimous consent that we bring up the bill to extend the tax cut for 160 million Americans as you walk off the floor, Mr. Speaker. You're walking out. You're walking away, just as so many Republicans have walked away from middle-class taxpayers.
I said earlier, Congressman Cantor, that the last couple of days, the U.S. House of Representatives has looked like the British Parliament. And it's kind of a joke, but at the same time, I think it's fair to say, are you proud to be a member of this House of Representatives that conducts itself that way?
Listen, it's a huge privilege. It's a huge privilege to be able to represent the people of Virginia in my district. It reminds me of that quote by the famous Virginian who helped found our country, Thomas Jefferson, who said, "Why put off for tomorrow what you can do today?" And that's a very applicable quote and bit of advice here for those who should be here in Washington who have now gone home. The people expect the representatives to go to work. And I think that's really what is at the core of the cynicism directed at Congress, is they want their representatives to solve problems and produce results. Right. We've got an opportunity to do that now. We've got an opportunity to go and make sure that taxpayers do not see an increase for the next year. We're saying, come on, join us. This is easy. We can do it.
Congressman Cantor, thank you. And we'll follow up. But thanks for your time today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.